Hey everyone, this is Andy here. Today we're going to be here at part 3 of Secured Notes. So to get started, I just want to say that I'm going to kind of change the way this series is going right now. So instead of doing it where I'm pretty much giving a brief overview of what I've done in the past episode and also just showing you what I've done, I want to kind of give it a better kind of video and probably more kind of interesting, where I'm actually going to go through the code and actually code it and go through the process. So I'm going to record me coding and writing this whole project instead of just giving the overview. I feel like this might be a better idea in a way where you can see where I'm struggling at and how I figure out the solution and what it is. And maybe you can even go through the whole process yourself. So I'm not too sure how this is going to go so far yet. I really do need engagement for me to have an idea of what it is I want to do. But as of right now, that's the idea. So I'm kind of changing and tailoring this series as I go. So for now, I'm just going to keep it the same format as last episode, where I'll give you a brief overview for part 1. I'm going to give you the brief overview I've done so far from last episode and then what I've done till now. Then in part 2 is where I'm going to start actually coding and implementing a new version of what I have as for my series now. So let's get started. So right here I have Xcode right now. I am currently running on a version. So let me just double check. So I'm running on Secure Notes v2 YouTube. This is where we were last at. So from here, I'm just going to show you what we have so far, starting main storyboard. So right here is our main storyboard. Nothing's really changed since. So I'm just going to run this right now on my iPhone XS simulator, just to give you an idea of what it looks like. So essentially, I haven't really changed much. This is what we had in the last episode, just as a refresher. So we have a table view here, password text field. We could click on one, then go here. We'll paste that password, login, and we access granted to notes. So that's pretty much what we did. We had to add notes, but it didn't really do anything. So we could add something in. This thing doesn't function. Press done. It doesn't show up, right? So this is pretty much what we had in the last episode. So to get started, I'm going to go ahead and git stash, and then I'm going to check out to Secured v2. All right, so we're gonna go here. Xcode's gonna do this thing. It's gonna give me a bunch of stuff. So this is the new version. So I'm just gonna run it to show you guys what it looks like, and then we'll go on from there. So let's go back to the simulator. All right, so right here we have the app, and right here what we see is basically a whole table view. So I've been testing this out a bit. So what we have here is we set the password text field, but it doesn't really do anything. I haven't really changed much. So there are a few errors here, but essentially I could click add, and I could actually add a note. So I could do YouTube random, and this time secure actually works. So when we put in something, a password, I should probably put something that I actually remember. So QWER. Press done. So you won't see it here. So that's one of the problems, is that the code hasn't, I haven't wrote in the code so that it refreshes right away. I also don't have the poll to refresh, so there's that. But now that I killed it, I'm gonna open it again. You see right here we have YouTube, and if I get QWER, log in, we'll have access into the notes. So we still have a lot of work to do, right? So like at least now when I killed it, I'm coming back with it. We do see YouTube here, or YouTube. We can add notes. The secure button works now. And essentially what I've done is also add CoreData. So to get started with CoreData, pretty much what CoreData is it allows us to store data offline on the phone itself without having an actual database online and connecting to a database. So a really popular database that I use a lot is called Firebase. It's owned by Google. If you haven't heard about it, you can search it online. Let me know if you want to learn more about Firebase. I can definitely make a video out of it. I really like Firebase. It's my go-to database for anything I've done, which is kind of the reason why I just didn't use it for this project. It's because I want to not use anything that I'm comfortable with. I want to always learn kind of new technologies. So I don't want to use Firebase again. I could use Firebase still, because with CoreData, because this information is stored on the phone, you can continue interacting with the app, adding new data and all of that. It will be stored on the app on the phone. That way, when you do get internet, it'll just call the database and let it know, hey, this user added some new data into the database. Let's refresh it and make sure we sync it up. That's pretty much what CoreData does, at least from what I've known. I can be wrong. Let me know in the comment below if I am. Moving forward, let's talk about CoreData. So to get started, we're going to go back to the add notes view controller here, and I have this line of code right here. So in the last episode, I pretty much explained that I have a done button, and what a done button does is when you press done, it's supposed to save or it's supposed to run an action, right? So right here we have selected process note sender. This pretty much calls this function right here. And in that function, I have a print statement, which I don't need, but essentially this is where I do all the CoreData work. So I call the app delegate, and pretty much what I'm doing is I'm going to UI application and getting its delegate. So we know where to grab it, because CoreData, you go to delegate to grab it. So to show you what I mean, I have app delegate right here. So right here's the code for the CoreData for persistent controller. This is pretty much what we're trying to do right now. We're trying to come into here and grab our stuff. So right here is what we're doing. We're going to getting the delegate, and then we do let context equal app delegate that persistent container. We're pretty much just grabbing the context here. We're just grabbing the persistent container. Then we're calling our entity. So our entity is actually called notes right here, and this is pretty much the code that tells me, hey, go into context, grab the entity named note. Then we're going to create a notes object here, and we're telling it it's a managed object of the entity note, and to put this information into context, which is a persistent container. So in here, we do note.setValue. So here is our key. The attribute name is title, and this is our value, which is title textfield.text. And same here for our text, we're going to give it that. So this is just the key. So this is the attribute name, and these are the values of this attribute for that record. So here I also have some logic. So pretty much what here I'm doing is I'm telling it that, hey, if password text field is actually not hidden, that means we do have a password, and we want to actually store this password into the database as well. If not, then just keep it as nil. Then over here, we do a do catch, and we want to make sure that we can save it. And if not, we can print a statement that didn't work. And lastly, we're pretty much, this is the same exact code. When it's done, we want to pop this view controller and head it back over to our view controller. So that's pretty much the code that pretty much does all of the work. This is all of the CoreData work here. This is just telling us to close the view controller and bring us back, which comes to here, which is the view controller. So we have a view did load and a view will appear. The difference between the two is essentially view did only loads once, so when the view controller actually loads the first time, and view will appear always constantly happens. So think of it this way, is that you see the view new every single time you go to a different view, right? If I click the add button, I am dismissing this current view of the view controller and going to the add notes view controller. But when I go back, I'm actually reappearing that view. So that view is reappearing. And this is the section of code, the chunk of code in this function that gets run when we re-see the code. So right here we have a delegate, same thing. So we do have some stuff that's the same, similar to how we were kind of pushing data into our CoreData. This is when things change. We're calling NS fetch request with a type of NS managed object. And we're giving it an NS entity of note, right? So the entity name is called note, so it knows that, hey, we want to go to the notes entity and grab something there. Then I create a new array. The primary reason is because I don't want to do catch here and keep adding it to our current array, because the data might not be in sync. So right here, we create a new array, then we do a do catch where we're going to fetch it, right? So here we have a results and try context that fetch request. So from here, I did a print and see what it was. It's an array, which is why I did a for data in results. It's a for loop to go through the array and iterate it and grab what we need, right? So we want the title, we want the text, and we just say data.value, grab the title, and we give it the attribute type. So if this was like a string or something, let's say less YouTube URL equal data. Right? Let's just say we don't have this, but if we did, we would do like for key YouTube as URL, something like that. So pretty much that's what we can do. And from there, same logic here, we're just checking to see if there's a password, and if it's nil, because with daypass object, I didn't implement it so that the password's optional. I should probably do that, then I wouldn't have this error here or this whole logic. It would make the code a lot cleaner. That's probably something I could do later on. So essentially, after we do a do catch, we already fetched it. Now new array stores all of our new notes, right? And then from here, we do days array equals new R or new array, and that's it. So like I said in the beginning of the video, in part 2, I want to make it so that I'm recording what I'm doing and you get to walk through the process with me of exactly what I'm changing. So in the comment section below right now, please let me know of other features you want to have. Pretty much right now, it's just a simple notes app with a password. That's pretty much what I'm doing right now. Thank you for watching. Please click on the I button on top, where you can continue to watch part 2, where I'll start implementing my new idea of going through my process of coding. Please like and subscribe if you like this video, and subscribe to watch more videos like this.